Our hosts and their guests are going to break down the latest in politics and the state of two wars.
That what we are looking at here is mental illness disguising as policy. It really, the man has dementia.
The one thing I'll say is this: Iran can get themselves on a very good footing if they make a deal. They can make themselves into a strong nation again, a wonderful nation again. They have incredible people. But they seem to be, bloodthirsty. They're led by some very, very unfortunately tough people. And I don't mean tough in a good way. I think it's very negative for the country because we're much tougher than they are, like not even close. But they have to use reason, and they have to use common sense, and they can get themselves into a great position to make themselves into a great country, but a legitimate country, not a country based on death and horror.
Just because this is another dementia alert. Nick posts, when Trump said that he thought the image was him as a doctor, it's because he misunderstood someone explaining to him that it was doctored. He has the nuclear codes. Okay. I mean, this just gets increasingly. Someone else said during his campaign, Trump told us people crossing the border were from insane asylums because he heard they were seeking asylum, and it got mixed up in his head. Now he's telling us he thought the Jesus AI image was depicting him as a doctor because his staff urged him to tell the press the image was doctored. The president is not well and has not been well for quite some time. It feels like that needs to be the main story, Malcolm. What do you think?
I've been saying this on my morning podcast every morning, that what we are looking at here is mental illness disguising as policy. It really, the man has dementia. He can't remember one thing from 1 minute to the other. There was a press conference, I think, 2 weeks ago where somebody, a very famous journalist, literally wrote down what he said every minute, and over 17 to 20 minutes, everything was a contradiction of the previous statement.
Yes.
This is not funny anymore. He has control of atomic bombs, and he's already brought us into a war which he thinks he's going to off-ramp us by making it look tough with a blockade.
Well, and also in terms of our allies, you quoted Tim Kaine, who said, you don't sucker punch someone in a bar and then blame your buddies when they don't join the fight with you. If the president wanted the support of allies, he should have respected them instead of putting tariffs on their economies and trash-talking them. And the headline this morning, Malcolm, is Trump turns on Italian PM, his last friend in Europe. I mean, right? She said, we have... the prime minister said, we have two American leaders. One is the hero of the American dream, and that is Pope Leo from Chicago, and the other is an American nightmare. Trump fires back. I am shocked by her. I thought she was brave, but I was wrong. She's no longer the same person. Italy will not be the same country. Conservatives in Europe, Meloni party is right-wing, are ditching Trump because of his insane policies. This shows clearly that Trump and MAGA are no longer conservatives, but extremists. I am heartened by what happened with in Orban, in Hungary with Orban, aren't you?
Oh, God. Yeah, that is just the greatest. You guys, if you don't think that we can't beat fascism, Hungary just set the pace.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, we can beat Trump. We can make him a lame duck and have him impeached all at the same time. I've been saying this from the beginning. This is about people power. You have to show up to all those protests. You have to show up, get out there, now's a great time to buy some frog suits, right? Inflatable frog suits, all right? And don't forget, ICE facilities are now being bombarded with a male prosthesis rubber devices by the hundreds. I don't know if you've seen that. People are now having fun at these protests.
Yeah.
The Hungarians came out in hundreds upon hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
And Orban's gone. He fired all the senior staff this morning, Peter Magyar.
Yeah.
Hungary is now embracing the European Union, and it is now about to become Ukraine's bestest buddy.
Yep.
This is how to do it, folks.
Malcolm, Heather Cox Richardson, who is essential, said people need to understand the implication of this and that it was allowed to happen. Viktor Orban was using government money to finance the Conservative Political Action Conference, the CPAC. Mm-hmm. So it appears that CPAC was funded by a foreign government that was working closely with Vladimir Putin. Not to mention that, all the, you wrote about all this, the NRA money, right, that came from Putin and Russia. And so despite our interfering in this election, like you say, Orban lost in a landslide.
In numbers too big to fake.
Right.
And that's why he conceded very quickly. That's why all of his aides started fleeing the country. They were destroying documents the night of the election losses. This is essentially what happened in Ukraine when they had their revolution of dignity, only it didn't have to have people killed in the streets. We have the ability to knock down these dictatorships. And Erdogan was a authoritarian fascist on the sign of Trump. And hey, as far as I'm concerned, J.D. Vance has free reign to visit all of our enemies right now. I'd like to see him go to Iran. I'd like to see him go to Russia. I'd like to see him go to Slovenia, Slovakia, where these guys are all pro-Moscow. Yeah. Obviously, the kiss of death that he gave to the last pope applies to all the other fascist dictators.
And by the way, someone posted J.D. Vance was just greeted by thousands of empty seats at a Turning Point USA event. All the seats were for free. MAGA is becoming weaker. I mean, that...
The worst polls right now, the worst polls, not all of them, the worst polls have us down by 5 or 6 points, okay? And what happened in 2018 is that as we got closer to the election, and again, the right kind of unified in the face of an election campaign, what happened is those margins narrowed, and the Republican Party did much better than expected in 2018. It wasn't a great election by any means, but the idea that this is done now, it's ridiculous, and frankly, it's cynical, pessimistic garbage pushed by people who want us to completely give up. Don't give up. We got to keep on fighting. That's the fundamental and most important thing, is the people telling you to give up on the midterms are the people who want us to lose the midterms. Don't listen to them.
Erica Kirk didn't even show up to her own event.
I know.
Because ticket sales were weak. What a grifter.
Yeah, exactly. One last one you reposted. America is a multicultural, multi-ethnic country. That is the deal when you want to be part of our country. It's been perverted beyond recognition by Republican fascists who tried to dismantle our democracy in favor of a fascist theocracy where no American is free anymore. Ein Führer, ein Reich. Malcolm, again, I keep saying it, Hungary, 80% turnout, no purity tests. That's what our mission is, right, in the midterms?
That's correct. That's correct. And there is a full-scale campaign being waged right now to make sure that this election gets thrown to Trump. It gets thrown to the Republicans. Don't forget, and this disturbs me almost more than anything. They have now just stood up the 50 National Guard Special Response Force troops that are supposed to be an offensive assault force in the National Guards in each state. Right, under the control of Pete Hegseth and Donald Trump. They are going beyond ICE. I think that they intend to militarize this. And the only way out of this is get out there and protest. When they have these No King events in your area, hit them. Yep. Grab an overpass and start putting up signs, right? No fascism, right?
Yep.
And all these things. Just get out there and help save America, because what's going on in foreign policy is it's literally, I had paid $100 to fill the tank of a car that gets 23 miles per gallon.
Yes.
And this is crazy.
I've been telling the story all week, $117 to fill my tank, three quarters of a tank. I already had a quarter of a tank. It's insane. And,
I can't even imagine.
Yeah. But, Malcolm, that's like I was saying, like Hungary, just fascists out. That's our fascists out. We'll figure out all the rest of it later, right? We just...
Yeah.
You cannot...
And their chant over there was Russians go home. Damn.